the environment and policy here in the UK. We're diving deep into the new rules around vaping, specifically that big ban on disposable vapes. Our sources are straight from BBC News, and the mission today is, well, to give you a really clear picture of why this is happening, what it means, and, the bigger implications.
Yeah, and what's fascinating here is just how complex this whole thing is. It's not just one single issue. You've got the environmental angle, which is huge, but also these really serious public health concerns, especially around young people. These new policies, they're trying to hit both problems at once. It makes for a really interesting deep dive.
Absolutely. So let's jump right into the headline news for you. The ban on disposable vapes. Put this date in your diary, June 1st, 2025. From then on, it's illegal for any business in the UK, doesn't matter if it's a shop or online, to sell or supply single-use vapes.
Right. Illegal across the board. And the penalties. They're serious. In England, for instance, a retailer caught selling them faces at least a £200 fine. But if they keep doing it, repeat offenses could mean up to 2 years in prison.
Wow, 2 years.
Yeah. And it's pretty similar in Scotland, Wales, and Northern Ireland. Plus, trading standards, they're the ones who enforce consumer protection. They'll have the power to actually seize illegal disposables.
Yeah.
So they really mean business with enforcement.
Okay, so the disposables are out for businesses, but what can they sell? What's still legal?
Good question. Basically, only reusable devices will be allowed. That means they need to have a battery you can recharge, a coil you can replace, and crucially, they have to be refillable.
Oh, it's a push towards, more sustainable vaping options.
Exactly. That seems to be the idea. And importantly for you listening, it won't actually be illegal for you as a customer to own a disposable vape after June 1st.
Right, so owning one is okay.
Yes. But retailers, they still have to take back any returned ones and dispose of them properly.
Okay, that makes sense. But it still begs the question, why such a big move? What's really driving this ban? Here's where it gets really interesting.
Well, if we connect this to the bigger picture,
Yeah.
the main reason, really, is the huge environmental damage. The numbers are they're quite something. DEFRA, that's the Department for Environment, Food, and Rural Affairs, they found almost 5 million single-use vapes were being thrown away every single week in 2023.
5 million a week.
Per week. Just try and picture that volume of waste. And it's not just litter, though that's part of it. These things have lithium-ion batteries inside circuit boards. If they end up in landfill or just chucked somewhere, they can leak toxic stuff like cobalt and copper.
Which gets into the environment.
Exactly. Harmful to fish, marine life if they ingest it. And the local government association, the LGA, they've pointed out these vapes are a nightmare for waste collection, too. They call them a hazard for waste and litter collection and cause fires in bin lorries.
Fires, because of the batteries.
Precisely. Lithium batteries can be volatile if damaged, and recycling them is tricky. They're small, often sealed units, hard to take apart safely. Plus, there are so many different types.
So there's no standard way to recycle them easily?
Not really on a large scale in the UK right now.
Yeah.
And the irony is, the materials inside, especially the lithium, are really valuable. We need lithium for green tech like electric car batteries or wind turbines. And here we are throwing millions of tiny bits of it away every week.
That environmental impact is...
Yeah,
it's stark, a huge waste. But you said there was another major reason?
Yes, absolutely. The second big driver is trying to cut down the number of children and young people vaping.
Ah, the youth vaping issue. I've seen headlines about that.
It's a major concern.
Yeah.
That 2024 ASH survey you mentioned earlier, it found about 18% 11 to 17-year-olds have tried vaping. That's nearly 1 million kids, 980,000.
18% have tried it, and how many currently vape?
Around 7% currently vape. That's about 390,000 children. Now, that is slightly down from 8% the year before in 2023.
Okay, a slight dip.
But it's still way, way higher than the 4% they recorded back in 2020. So the trend is still worrying.
How does that compare to, traditional smoking for that age group?
Well, just over 5% 11 to 17-year-olds currently smoke cigarettes. And just under 3% do both smoke and vape.
So more kids are vaping than smoking now?
Yes, significantly more, it seems. And there's real concern about how they got into it. The British Medical Association warned that kids were specifically targeted. Bright colors, branding, sweet flavors like bubble gum, candy floss.
Things designed to appeal directly to them.
Exactly, which can obviously lead straight to nicotine addiction.
Right. So the ban on disposables is one part of tackling that. This raises an important question. What else is being done? Are there other regulations coming in?
Yes, there are other measures. Beyond just the disposable ban, there's a new vaping tax coming. That starts on October 1st, 2026. It'll be a flat rate, £2.20 per 10 milliliters of vaping liquid.
Okay, a tax on the liquid itself.
Correct. And interestingly, they're increasing tobacco duty at the same time.
Why do both?
The idea is to keep vaping cheaper than smoking, to maintain that financial reason for smokers to switch, rather than making them think, oh, well, might as well go back to cigarettes if vaping gets too expensive.
That makes sense. Keep the incentive. What else?
There's also the tobacco and vapes bill that's going through Parliament right now that aims to outlaw vape advertising and sponsorship completely.
Ah, so tackling the marketing side.
Yes. And it will also restrict flavors, packaging, how vapes are displayed in shops again, targeting that youth appeal.
And what about illegal vapes? The ones that aren't regulated at all?
That's another big focus. The government is cracking down on those too. They're widely available, apparently, and often contain who knows what other harmful chemicals, sometimes even drugs.
Scary stuff. Do we know how big that problem is?
Well, trading standards seized over 6 million illegal vaping products just across England between 2022 and 2024.
6 million. That's a lot.
It gives you a sense of the scale, definitely.
So we've covered the environment, the push to protect kids. But what does this all mean for health overall, especially for adult smokers? So what does this all mean?
It's a really nuanced picture. The official line, and what most health experts agree on, is that vaping is nowhere near as harmful as smoking cigarettes.
Right. Cigarettes being the known killer.
Exactly. Cigarettes contain tobacco, tar, loads of toxic cancer-causing chemicals. They're a massive cause of preventable illness and death in the UK. Vaping doesn't have those specific combustion products.
Okay, so it's less harmful than smoking, but there's always a but, isn't there? Why the concern then?
Well, less harmful doesn't mean harmless. There are still worries that vaping itself might cause long-term damage. We're talking potentially to lungs, hearts, maybe even brains.
We just don't know the full long-term picture yet.
Precisely. That's why the NHS recommendation is quite specific. They only suggest vaping for adult smokers who are actively trying to quit smoking. It's part of their Swap to Stop initiative.
So not for non-smokers and definitely not for kids.
Absolutely not. The vapor still contains chemicals, usually including nicotine, which is highly addictive. The Department of Health and Social Care stated it clearly. Vapes can be an effective way for adult smokers to quit, but we have always been clear that children and adult non-smokers should never vape.
And wasn't there a warning from the World Health Organization?
Yes, back in December 2023, the WHO warned about, quote, alarming evidence growing about the damage vaping causes.
So there's ongoing research needed.
Definitely. And the government seems to recognize that. They announced a big research project back in February 2025, £62 million to track 100,000 young people aged 8 to 18 for a whole decade.
A decade-long study. Wow.
Yeah, the aim is to really get a handle on those potential long-term risks. It shows they know there are still big questions to answer.
So wrapping this up, it's clear these UK regulations are, well, they're pretty sweeping. They're trying to hit multiple targets at once, the environmental mess from disposables, and the really serious public health concerns, particularly protecting children. It's a complex approach.
It really is. These changes signal a very strong stance from the government. They're trying to balance helping adult smokers quit with this urgent need to stop kids starting and also deal with the environmental fallout. It's a tricky balancing act, no doubt about it, and these rules show a clear direction.
Definitely. So given all that complexity, the environment, youth health, helping adult smokers, the economics of it all, it leaves you wondering, doesn't it? How will these rules actually reshape things in the long run? And what unexpected consequences or maybe even innovations might pop up because of them? Something to really chew on as you go about your day.